Today, so we're almost at the latter part of our lessons in Chemistry for Engineers or Chem 114. So I think we still have two or three remaining topics before the semester ends. Pero sisikapin natin na matapos siya hanggang ENM. So here, so after kong ibigay sa inyo yung PowerPoint presentation for the lecture part of metals is dito naman is the laboratory part of the metals. Kung mapapansin nyo, hindi na ako gumawa ng video for the lecture part because you can only read it lang naman. So, pwede nyo lang siyang basahin. I think it will be redundant and feeling ko kasi babasahin ko lang din siya. So, hindi na ako gumawa ng video for that. And then, I put some links in the PowerPoint presentation so you can check those links. So those are supplementary videos that you can watch na for you to able to understand the different processes in production of metals, no? Such as yung, for example, yung sa may forging, yung mga annealing, and etc. So here in the laboratory part, gumawa ako ng video because it includes some calculations na meron tayo sa mechanical properties ng metals. So let's start with the introduction. So the mechanical behavior of a material reflects the relationship between its response or deformation to an applied load or force. So important mechanical properties are strength, hardness, ductility, and stiffness. So metals have different properties. No? So different metals have different mechanical properties. So yung mga metals is may kanya-kanya yung mga properties, di ba? And iba-iba yan ng boiling point, ibang-iba ng conductivity, um, ng melting point, di ba? So kung iba-iba sila ng ganun, of course, their mechanical property is also different. No? So pagdating sa properties or mechanical properties na meron sila, iba-iba sila pagdating sa strength, di ba? For example, si copper is more hard or mas mataas yung strength ni copper compared kay aluminum for example, 'di ba? Kasi si aluminum is medyo malambot siya. And then syempre, sa ductility magkakaiba sila, sa hardness and then sa stiffness. So, next is the stresses naman. So, we have different types of stress, no? Kapag sinabi nating stress is ito yung force na um, ina-apply natin doon sa mismong metal. No? So, para mas madali nating maintindihan kung ano yung stress. So, for example, yan. So, this part is a type of stress called tensile stress. No? Tawag dito is tensile stress or yung pulling stress kapag ang ginagawa natin sa kanya ay pinupull. For example, we have yung initial natin na cylinder. For example, ito yung metal natin. Yan. We have a metal and then yung metal mismo na yan is, ang gagawin natin is mag apply tayo ng um, pulling stress. So, for example, pinul natin siya. Yan. So, yung pagpupul natin dyan ay dapat ay equal yung force na ina-apply natin. Hindi pwedeng lamang yung isa, yung upward force at hindi pwedeng lamang yung downward force. So, dapat sila ay equal, di ba? So, yung magiging direction natin sa kanya is up and down. So, applying stress in one direction, so we consider natin siya as one direction kasi up and down lang naman siya. No? So, ang tawag natin sa kanya kapag ganun is uniaxial loading. No? So, uniaxial or uniaxial loading. So, according to the Newton's third law, the cylinder will experience a force downward on the lower surface, of course, and then, of course, of the cylinder. Makaka-experience siya ng downward force doon sa may lower cylinder and an equal opposite force doon naman sa upper surface ng cylinder. So, yung equal force na yon is, ang nagde-define doon is the Newton's third law. So, after that, for example, pinul na natin yung cylinder natin, ang mangyayari dyan is, syempre, hahaba siya, di ba? So, this is our initial length. and then this is our final length. Diba? So yung final natin after applying the force is mangyayari dyan is syempre hahaba siya. No? So paano natin kina-calculate yan? No? So we have two different formulas for stresses. So first is the formula natin sa stress, etong part na to. So, yan, sigma, ayan yung sigma na yan, sigma is equals to F over A, where sigma is equals to normal stress, and then F is equals to force, and A is equals to area. 'Di ba? So, yan yung formula natin for stress. And then, ano naman tong epsilon na yan? So, epsilon is the strain. Ano muna yung strain? So, ang epsilon or ang strain is the result from stress. No? Ito yung resulta ng stress. For example, nag-apply tayo ng stress ulit dito sa may cylinder na to. Nag-apply tayo ng stress dyan. And then, magkakos yan ng strain. 'Di ba? Yung result ng mismong stress na in-apply natin is, yun yung tinatawag natin na strain. So, the formula for strain is delta L, or para medyo malapit tayo dito sa may representation natin dito sa may figure. So, pwedeng E or epsilon is equals to delta L, para ayan, nakastick tayo, over L, where delta L is the change in length. Kapag sinabi natin change in length is yung final length minus dun sa initial length. No? So yun yung change in length. And then of course, L is the original length, which is ito, or LO, para nakastick pa rin tayo dito sa may part na to. So ganun lang siya. So next is the compressibility stress. No? So ito naman, ang ginagawa naman natin dito is kinocompress natin, or compressive stress na tinatawag natin. So kabaliktaran siya, itong part na to or ng tensile stress is ang ginagawa naman natin dito ay yung mismong force ay pababa. So lumiliit naman itong part na to. So imagine niyo lang, for example, meron kayong spring. Tapos kapag kinompress nyo siyang ganun, ang tawag doon ay compressive strength. Next is the shear stress. No? So here naman sa shear stress, for example, is para mas ma-visualize natin siya, ganun ulit yung gawin natin. So para mas ma-visualize natin yung shear stress, for example, you are applying force sa may part na to. Nag-apply ka ng force dyan, so ibig sabihin, meron tayong opposite force na manggagaling sa mismong surface dito sa ilalim na opposite force. So kapag tinulak natin siya, ang mangyayari dyan is mag-shear siya. No? So para ka lang nagtulak ng, for example, meron kang box, yung empty box or empty carton box. Kapag tinulak mo siya, 'di ba? Medyo siya, tatabingi. No? So ang tawag doon is a shear stress. Next is the torsional stress. So dito naman sa torsional stress is, nangyayari is nagkakaroon tayo ng twisting, or yung kapag kunyari pinalipit natin. For example, naglalaba tayo. Kapag naglalaba is, ang ginagawa 'di ba kapag nagbabanlaw is pinipilipit yung damit. So ganun lang yung torsional stress. No? So we have different concepts of stress. First is the engineering stress, and second is the true stress. No, so engineering stress or sigma is the instantaneous force applied over the original cross-sectional area. No. So yung A naught before yung loading. So ibig sabihin, yung engineering stress is ito yung original na niya. Ito yung before loading, yung before tayo nag-apply ng stress. So yun yung engineering stress. And then for the true stress or sigma T is the instantaneous force applied over the original cross-sectional area or A where the deformation occurring. Dito nagkakaroon na tayo ng deformation or yung pagde-deform na ng mismong metal natin. So here naman is same lang din sila ng formula for engineering stress is ang pinagkaiba lang is papalitan mo yung area sa baba ng AI or yung na-deform na siya. No? So A naught kapag hindi pa siya na-deform or yung before loading, and then AI is after ng deformation. So, yun lang na may pagkakaiba nila. Halos same lang din naman ang engineering stress and then true stress. No, so parang before and after lang. Next is the concept of strain. 'Di ba na-discuss na natin kung ano yung strain kanina? Again, the strain ay yung result ng stress. No? So the deformation is measured or quantified by calculating the amount of strain. For example, ayan, yung katulad nung example natin kanina, nag-apply tayo ng pulling stress or tinatawag natin na tensile stress. No. So, yung engineering strain daw is defined according to, so yung formula natin is E equals to Li minus L naught, no, or L0, or over L naught, or yung initial, and then initial and final, di ba? And then, yun lang din yun, yung formula kanina, yung delta L over L naught. No? So, stick tayo sa may, sa orig formula natin kanina, which is yung ganito, para hindi tayo dito. So, E is equals to delta L over L naught. So, kapag i-calculate natin siya ulit, so since ito ay difference or yung delta L, so mangyayari dyan is Li or yung L final minus L naught, which is initial, over doon sa initial. So, ganun lang siya um, isulat. So L naught is the original strength again, or yung initial, and then Li is the instantaneous length or yung final natin. So Li minus L naught is denoted as delta L and is the deformation, elongation, or change in length at some instant. Kapag nakakita kayo ng deformation, elongation, or yung mismong change, meaning ang hinahanap natin is si delta L, di ba? So engineering strain subsequently called just strain. No. And syempre, ito ay unitless. But meters per meter or inches per inch are often used. No. Siyempre, para mag-cancel siya, kailangan naka-meter per meter or dapat or inches per inches or millimeter per millimeter. So, dapat pareho yung units na meron tayo. Again, the units of stress and strain. So, yung stress or yung sigma is equals to F over A. Where is, again, F is the force and then A is the area. So kung ano natin siya into units, the force is Newton over the meter squared, di ba? Ang area is meter squared or simply Pascal. And then for strain is epsilon is equals to delta L over L naught. So ito is pwedeng millimeter per millimeter. Again, kahit ano namang unit ng length, basta dapat pareho sila para maging unitless yung strain natin. No? So, let's proceed to the mechanical properties. So, what could happen to a material that experiences an external force? Ano bang mangyayari sa isang material, for example, kapag naka-experience siya ng external force? Marami tayong different factors or marami tayong different external forces na pwedeng makaapekto doon sa mechanical properties at iba-iba yung magiging resulta nila doon mismo sa material. So first is the deformation. So the change in dimensions or shape of a material brought about by an applied force. Siyempre, yung deformation is yung magbabago siya ng form. So we have two types of deformation. First is the plastic deformation and then next is the elastic deformation. For example, meron kang kotse, 'di ba? Kadalasan yung kotse is made out of plastics and then metals, 'di ba? So, for example, kapag yan ay nabangga, so ang mangyayari diyan is 'di ba, madedeform yung mismong yung mismong kotse. So, pwedeng magkagasgas, pwedeng dents, pwedeng mayupe, or pwedeng masira talaga na katulad nito na sirang-sira. Depende sa lakas ng force na in-apply natin. So, first is the elastic deformation o yung tinatawag natin na temporary deformation. So, sa temporary deformation, for example, ito yung yung material natin before, and then kapag nag-apply tayo ng force, medyo hahaba siya. So, nag-apply tayo dito ng stress. No? Nag-apply tayo ng stress and then humaba siya. And then after is bumalik siya sa original niya. So ang tawag diyan is elastic deformation. So bumabalik lang din siya sa dati. Ano ba yung mga examples niyan? For example, um, yung mga kutsyon. Diba? Bumabalik lang din sila sa dati or temporary lang silang nade-deform. So the degree to which a structure deforms or strains depends on the magnitude of an imposed stress. Stress and strain are proportional to each other through the relationship. So sigma is equals to E and multiply by the epsilon, or sigma is equals to E epsilon. So this is known as Hooke's law, and the constant proportionality E, ayun. So yung E daw is GPA or psi yung kanyang unit. Now, ito yung tinatawag natin na modulus of elasticity or Young's modulus. Again, the E is the Young's modulus or yung tinatawag natin na modulus of elasticity. So different materials have different Young's modulus. No. So different metals then have different Young's modulus. So ang Young's modulus or yung modulus of elasticity is a constant. Again, kapag constant siya, lagi siyang given. No. So kung gagamitin natin yung formula na yan, mangyayari is ang lagi nating hahanapin kung hindi si stress, si strain. No. Kasi given na si E, ima-manipulate na lang natin yung mga given doon sa problem. So later on, magagamit natin yan kapag tayo ay nag-example for um, sa mga problem solvings natin. So deformation that is recoverable, syempre, yun yung tinatawag natin na elastic deformation. Ayan, for example, sa rubber. So bumabalik lang din naman siya, di ba? So eto yung modulus of elasticity. So etong table na to, yan, yung different E natin for different materials. For example, for aluminum, um, ang kanyang E is 69. So kung i-express natin siya as GPA is 69 GPA siya. For brass, 97. For copper, 110. For magnesium, 45. For nickel, 207, etc. etc. No? So, pwede rin natin siya express as psi. So, mangyayari sa kanya is 10 raised to 6 lang. So, kung psi naman is 10 psi, 14 psi, 16 psi. So, next is the plastic deformation. So, refers to permanent deformation. Ito naman is permanent na. No? Yung plastic deformation daw ay permanent. So, before, for example, ito yung itsura natin. Ito yung before niya. And then, ito yung after niya. So, anong nangyari dito is permanently na na-deform na siya. So, deformation wherein stress is no longer proportional to strain. Ibig sabihin, hindi na proportional si stress kay strain. Kaya, nagiging permanent yung kanyang deformation. So, deformation that is permanent or non-recoverable. So, hindi na siya na ibabalik sa dati. Unless ibabalik mo talaga siya ng sinadya. So, next property after the deformation is the hardness. So, another mechanical property that may important to consider, syempre, ay yung hardness, which is a measure of material's resistance to localized plastic deformation. So, resistant to structuring or yung Mohs hardness scale of rock. Ito yung Mohs hardness scale natin na tinatawag. Kapag yung scale natin is 1 lang, considered as talc lang siya or very soft. For example, yung chalk and then yung mga polvo. And then for gypsum is 2 hanggang sa papatigas na siya ng papatigas. Hanggang sa makarating na siya sa Mohs hardness scale 10. No? So yung diamond. So yung diamond is the hardest material that ever known dito sa Earth. Diba? So hindi siya metal because it is made out of carbon, but still, it is the hardest material that ever exists here in Earth. So mag-sample problem na tayo. So sample problem natin, copy lang din natin yan. Then ilagay natin siya dito sa Paint. So before we start sa problem natin dito, sa yung first problem natin, always remember na ang sigma is equals to mega pascals or MPa. And then yung MPa na yan, or 1 MPa is equals to 10 raised to 6 Newton over meter squared. And also, equals yan sa um, Pascal. Diba? Equal yan kasi kay Pascal or 10 raised to 6 Pascal. Kasi ang Newton meter squared ay is equals to Pascal. Yun yung tatandaan nyo. Also, additional lang is, tandaan nyo, is 1 GPa or gigapascal is equals to 10 raised to 9 Pascal. So, itong mga to, kailangan nyo yan tandaan or kabisaduhin. Or, syempre, equal din siya sa Newton meter squared. Diba? And then, yung 1 GPa din natin is also equals to 10 raised to 3 naman ng megapascal. So, para mabilis tayo makapag-convert, tandaan nyo lagi yung mga conversion na yan, di ba? Giga, mega. So, kung babalikan nyo yung physics nyo nung high school kayo is, alam nyo na kung paano i-convert, di ba? Kapag giga, kapag mega, di ba? So, yun lang yung mga kailangan nating tandaan. So, let's proceed to our problem. So, a piece of copper, so sinabi dito, copper siya, originally 305 millimeter long, is pulled in tension with a stress of 276 MPa or 40,000 psi. If the deformation is entirely elastic, nabanggit na siya ay elastic. What will be the resultant elongation? So, ang tinatanong dito ay yung hinahanap ay yung resultant elongation. So, para hindi tayo malito, isulat muna natin or i-list down natin yung mga given. So, ang mga given natin is yung sigma natin or yung stress which is 276 megapascal or MPa. And then, yung mismong natin, sinabi dito originally, siya, 305 millimeter long. So, L naught, given na yung L naught natin, or yung initial na length natin is 305 millimeter. 305 millimeter. And then, syempre, given yung, given si copper, di ba? So, kung given si copper, meaning, yung E natin, kung babalikan natin yung table, so check natin ulit yung table kanina. So, dito sa table, si copper daw ay 110 GPa. Yan. So, ang E natin is 110 GPa or gigapascal. Sorry, nagmukha na siyang R. GPa. And then, yan. So, yan yung mga given natin. So, again, ano na nga yung mga formula natin? So, ang formula is, wait lang, hindi pa pala natin ilalagay kung sino hinahanap. The missing is ano yung hinahanap? Resultant elongation or yung delta L. So, siya yung nawawala. Siya yung kailangan natin hanapin. So, ano ba yung formula natin para mapalabas natin si delta L? Di ba ang formula natin for delta L is epsilon. Sorry, napalaki. Epsilon is equals to delta L, di ba? Delta L over L naught. So, kung i-derive natin siya, magiging delta L is equals to epsilon L naught. Diba? So, the problem is, hindi given si epsilon. So, paano natin makukuha si epsilon? So, di ba sinabi dito, yung deformation daw na nangyari is entirely elastic. So, meaning, applicable yung tinatawag natin na Hooke's law. Diba? Gagamitin natin si Hooke's law. So, kung gagamitin natin si Hooke's law, ang formula natin for Hooke's law is sigma is equals to E epsilon, di ba? So, given yung ating stress, and then si epsilon yung hinahanap. And then, eto si mismong E, di ba? So, Ang gagawin lang natin is ma-manipulate lang natin tong formula na meron tayo dito. So, kung mangyayari dyan, kung isa-substitute natin to, so ang mangyayari dito is E is equals to sigma divided by kay E, or epsilon is equals to sigma over E, or yung constant natin, di ba? So, balik tayo dito. So, delta L is equals to, kung i-apply na natin to, papalitan na natin to. So, ang mangyayari dyan is sigma E, di ba? Multiply by L O. So, ganon. So, i-input na ba natin agad yung mga values natin? Di ba ang mga values natin is etong tatlo lang naman na to. Di ba? Yung tatlo lang naman na yan yung meron tayo. So, nakuha na natin yung formula. So, paano natin ngayon ilalagay dito? Make sure na pare-pareho yung mga units. So, for the sigma part, or yung sa stress, ang unit natin ay megapascal. And then for the E naman is naka-gigapascal siya. So, kailangan lang natin pagparehohin yung yung mismong units. Sorry, medyo nalulutang. So, dapat mapareho natin yung units nila. So, kahit sino naman sa dalawa na yan, i-convert natin. So, ang i-convert na lang natin into megapascal ay itong si 110 gigapascal. So, para ma-convert natin, so 1 gigapascal, yan, is equals to 10 raised to 3 megapascal. So, cancel na natin to, tas cancel na natin to. So, matitira si megapascal. So, ano yung magiging sagot nito? So, yung E natin is equals to 110 times 10 raised to 3 megapascal. So, pare-pareho na yung mga units natin. So, we can calculate na. No? So, again, the sigma is 276 MPa or megapascal divided by the 110 times 10 raised to 3 megapascal multiply by our LO or initial, which is 305 millimeter. So, calculate nyo lang yung answer, input nyo lang sa calculator, you will get 276 divided by 110 multiplied by 305 millimeter. Again, sa pag-input sa calculator, make sure na tama yung pag-i-input nyo, ha. Kasi kapag mali yung input nyo, mali din yung sagot na makukuha nyo. So, cancel out to, cancel out to. Our final answer will be 0.765 millimeter. So, this is our final answer. So, 0.765 millimeter. So, hindi naman binanggit dito kung saan dapat yung mismong units ng resultant elongation natin. So, kung millimeter yung initial given natin, so dapat millimeter din to. Depende na lang kung anong unit yung hinahanap. So, that's the final answer. So, balik tayo dun. So, ayan. So, ito yung solution. Pwede nyong irekta ng ganyan. So, yung show ko kasi kanina is step-by-step na solution ng problem natin. And then yan. So, the final answer will be 0.77 millimeter. So, 0.765. Same lang din naman yan. Ang ginangyari lang is, nagkaroon lang tayo ng, ni-round off lang. And then, syempre, also equals to 0.03 inches. So, let's proceed to sample problem number 2. So, katulad nito, ganun din yung gawin natin. So, sample ulit. So, dito naman tayo sa sample problem number 2. Basahin lang natin. So, a specimen of copper, katulad nung kanina, copper din to, having a rectangular cross-section na 15.2 mm times 19.1 mm is pulled in tension with 44,500 newtons na force producing only elastic deformation. So calculate the resulting strain. So dito naman, ang hinahanap naman natin ay yung mismong strain, di ba? So again, let's list down yung mga mismong um, given. So first is the force. So given yung force natin, so F is equals to 44,500 Newton. And then ano pa yung given bukod kay force? D, yun lang, di ba? So, yun lang yung given natin. And then ang hinahanap natin ay si strain or epsilon. So, paano natin siya mapapalabas? Paano natin mapapalabas? So, di ba, ang formula natin for strain is E is equals to um, delta L over L naught. 'Di ba? So, paano natin mapapalabas si epsilon kung um both of the length are hindi given. Hindi given si elongation at hindi given si initial na kanyang length. So, paano natin mapapalabas si E? 'Di ba? So, paano gagawin natin? Since basahin natin ulit mabuti yung tanong. Sinabi naman dito na it is an elastic deformation, meaning magpo-fall under siya ulit sa Hooke's law, 'di ba? Yung Hooke's law again, ang formula natin for Hooke's law is E is equals to sorry. Ang Hooke's law is ayan, sigma is equals to E multiplied by the epsilon. So, yan yung gagamitin natin. No? So, again, para mapalabas natin to, i-ano natin siya, de-derive. De-derive natin siya. So, pag de-derive natin, ang mangyayari is epsilon is equals to sigma over E. Diba? So, again, balikan natin yung problem natin. So, again, according to the problem, ang given lang natin is force. Since nabanggit naman na copper siya, meaning, ang E natin is also given, yung constant natin. Kung titingnan natin yung kanina, ang constant natin will be 110, di ba, na GPa. So, 110 GPa yung E natin. So, dalawa na yung given natin. So, kung titingnan natin ulit to calculate the E, the other missing is the sigma naman or the stress. So, si stress yung hahanapin natin. Again, what's our formula for stress? Ang formula natin for stress is stress or sigma is equals to force over area. Diba? So, given na yung force natin. But, the area is not given. So, para mapalabas natin si area, gagamitin natin tong rectangular cross-section which is 15.2 millimeter times 19.1 millimeter. So, ang gagawin lang natin dyan para mapalabas natin si A is equals to 15.2 times 19.1 millimeter. So, input lang natin yan sa calculator. Kapag in-input natin yan sa calculator, we will get 15.2 times 19.1 is equals to 290.32 millimeter squared. So, paano siya naging millimeter squared? Kasi, di ba, meron pa tayong millimeter dito. Millimeter times millimeter is equals to millimeter squared. So, pwede na natin kunin si stress. But, again, always remember na ang sigma or ang stress is Newton over meter squared. In this case, ang nakuha natin is in millimeter squared. So, kailangan natin i-convert si mm squared into meter squared. So, para ma-calculate natin siya, gagawin natin dyan is 1,000 millimeter, di ba? Meron tayong 1,000 millimeter sa 1 meter. Of course, may 2 tayo dito, lalagyan natin siya ng square dito. So, the answer will be 290.32 divided by 1,000, tapos raised to 2 dapat, sa pag-input sa calculator, make sure na ganito yung setup ng pagkaka-input nyo sa CalQ. No, para mas madali. So, 2.9032 times 10 raised to negative 4 meter squared. That's the final answer. So now, we can calculate for the stress. No, so pwede na natin calculate si stress. So ang Newton natin again is, tingnan natin, 44,500. 44,500 divided by 2.9032 times 10 raised to negative 4. So Newton and then meter squared. So yung makukuha nyo dyan, pwede nyo nang i-input dito sa may formula. Pero, tuturuan ko kayo ng mas mabilis na technique para dire-diretso kayo sa calculator nang hindi kayo masyadong mahaba yung solution nyo. So, hindi muna natin kukunin tong part na to. Ang gagawin natin is, i-transform natin tong formula. So, E, di ba? Again, yung sigma natin is F over A, di ba? F over A divided by doon sa E. So, ano yung gagawin natin? So, in this case, ang gawin na natin is, i-substitute na natin yung mga nandito. So, ang given natin is Newton per meter squared yung ating stress, di ba? So, ang kalalabasan nito, copy lang natin to. Copy natin tong part. And then, let's paste sa may part na to. Ay, sorry. Paste natin sa may part na yan. And then, syempre, divided by, diba? So, ang E natin is 110 GPa. Again, etong dalawa na to ay also equals to Pascal. Diba? Kasi Newton per meter squared ang Pascal, diba? So, eto ay naka 110 GPa. So, kailangan mag-adjust nito. So, i-convert natin si 110 GPa into Pascal para mag-equal sila. Diba? So, 110 GPa is equals to 110 times 10 raised to 9 Pascal. So, ayan na, dapat kabisado nyo yung mga conversion of units. So, divide natin to sa 110 times 10 raised to 9. So, kung Pascal siya, then magiging Newton per meter squared lang din to. Since ang epsilon natin is unitless, cancel natin si n, cancel natin si n, cancel natin si meter squared, at cancel natin si meter squared. We will be left with nothing, di ba? So, 44,500 divided by 2.9032 times 10 raised to negative 4 meters squared over 110 times 10 raised to 9. So, the final answer will be 0.00139. So, yun yung final answer natin. Or, kapag tinransform natin to into significant scientific notation, kapag ginawa natin to scientific notation, maglagay tayo ng point dito, 1, 2, 3. So, 1.39 times 10 raised to negative 3. So, that's the final answer. So, ganun lang mag-calculate. Kapag ang hinahanap naman ay si strain. So, ayan. So, here's the solution and then the answer. So, we also got the 1.39 times 10 raised to negative 3. So, our answer is correct. No. Again, i-monitor nyo lang kung tama ba yung mga units na ginagamit nyo. No? So, make sure, be careful pagdating sa mga units. Make sure na pare-pareho ng units kung ayaw nyong magkamali ng computation. And then last problem, sige, so sagutan din natin tong huling problem na to. Just like the others, i-paste natin siya dito. Ay, sorry. Hindi ko siya na-copy. So, let's paste this problem and then answer natin ito. So, here, basahin muna natin. So a cylindrical specimen of a nickel alloy, so nickel naman this time, having an elastic modulus of 207 GPa. So ito given na yung ano natin, yung elastic modulus. So given na agad siya na 207 GPa, so hindi na natin siya kailangan tingnan sa calculator, sa table. And an original diameter, so this time ang given natin is the diameter, which is 10.2 millimeter. Will experience only elastic deformation. So already said na elastic deformation yung nangyari. When a tensile load of 8,900 Newton, so given si force, is applied. Compute the maximum length of the specimen before deformation if the maximum allowable elongation is 0.25 millimeter. So given din si delta L, di ba? Again, ang hinahanap ay yung maximum length ng specimen. So, ang nawawala is si L naught. So, siya yung hahanapin natin this time. Again, our given will be, first is the E. Ang given natin ay E is equals to 207 GPa. So, 207 GPa. And then for the eto, given yung diameter. The diameter will be, so hindi siya i-considered as as yung L natin ha, kasi diameter. Sinabi na diameter, imagine you have a cylinder, di ba? Kunyari meron kang cylinder na ganyan. So sumobra. So ang diameter natin is, di ba? Ang diameter natin ay yung mismong size. Eto, di ba, yung from dito sa point na to, papunta sa may point na yan. So, yan yung diameter natin. Di ba, sa circle, for example, sa circle, ayan, yung circle natin, ang diameter natin ay yung the whole nito, di ba? And then yung kalahati niya is yung radius, di ba? Or yung half ng, bago ka maka-full ng circle is, yung half niya ay yung radius. So, again, the diameter, balik tayo sa problem. So, diameter is 10.2, pangit ang sulat, 10.2 millimeter. And then, ano pa yung mga given natin? The given also is the force. So, given yung force natin which is equals to 8,900 Newton. And of course, the elongation or yung delta L, ayan, yung delta L natin is also given which is, ano yun nandun? 0.25 millimeter. 0.25 millimeter. Yan. Since ang mawawala is si delta L, again, the formula natin para mapalabas natin si delta L is yung strain, di ba? Strain is equals to delta L, sorry, yung initial L pala yung nahanap. Delta L is equals to L naught. So, yan yung formula natin, di ba? So, kung i-derive natin yan, derive natin yung formula, transform natin siya, is L naught is equals to delta L divided by dun sa strain or epsilon. So, eto yung nawawala. Diba? So, again, hindi pa given si strain. So, hahanapin muna natin si strain, diba? Using yung mga given na meron tayo. So, again, sinabi naman dito na elastic deformation siya. Diba? So, again, gagamitin natin ulit yung formula natin na for Hooke's law. So, Hooke's law is equals to sigma or stress is equals to E multiply by the strain or epsilon. So, kapag dinerive natin yan, ang makukuha natin is epsilon is equals to sigma over E. Diba? Again, ang nawawala is si epsilon. So, given naman na yung E, and then ang hahanapin natin, of course, is the sigma or si stress. Si stress yung kailangan nating hanapin. So, solve for the stress or sigma. So, again, the formula for sigma is equals to F or force over A. So, given naman na yung force natin which is 8,900 Newton. The problem is, hindi given si area. Diba? So, kung hindi given si area, meron tayong formula for area. Again, cylinder to, di ba? So, kung cylinder yan, yung cylinder natin, ang formula natin for cylinder is A is equals to, um, 'di ba sa sa math, ang formula natin for area for a cylinder is A, or area is equals to pi r squared. So gagamitin natin yung pi r squared. So the problem is, hindi given si radius, but we have the diameter. Again, the diameter is r squared lang naman, 'di ba? So dalawang radius is equals to diameter. So para mapalabas natin si radius, ang gagawin natin diyan is pi, um, yung diameter natin, which is 10.2 divided by 2, 'di ba? Para makuha natin si radius. And then, of course, wag natin kakalimutan na squared dapat siya. So, ganun lang para mapalabas natin si A. So, what's the next step? Actually, pwede nating irekta na calculate na si A, pero ang gawin na lang natin is i-input natin ng dire-diretso sa formula. So, ano na yung next step natin? So, we have everything na. So, kapag we have everything na, pwede na natin i-calculate to. Diba? So, isulat lang natin ulit yung formula dito is L naught is equals to delta L, given naman kasi si delta L, over, ano na nga yun? Over, sorry, nakalimutan, ayun, E, or yung strain natin, or yung epsilon, over epsilon. So, kung itatransform natin tong formula na to, so transform natin siya. So, delta L over sigma, di ba? Again, yung E natin or E naught, yung epsilon natin or yung strain is equals to sigma over E. So, sigma over E. Yan. So, pwede ang gawin natin dito is mag-ano tayo, means and extreme, di ba sa math? So, meron tayong delta L, sorry. So, meron tayong delta L over 1 over, so sa may mga previous problem natin kanina, pwede tayong mag-means and extreme doon. So this time, gagamitin natin siya. And then, yan. So pag nag-means and extreme tayo, ito, and then itong dalawa na to. So magiging equals to magiging final natin is delta L multiply by E over, di ba? Sigma. So, ito na yung ano natin, final formula. No? So, yan na yung final formula natin. So, what's our next step? So, next step natin is kakalculate na natin siya, di ba? So, sorry, nawala yung mouse. Yan. Kakalculate na natin siya. So, to calculate that, ang gagawin na natin is input na natin yung mga given. Sorry. So, ang given natin dito for delta L is 0.25 millimeter. 'Di ba? Again, para magkaroon tayo ng cancellation of units, kailangan si millimeter ma-transform natin siya into meter. So, 0.25, irerekta ko na dito, 0.25 times 10 raised to negative 3 meter. So, again, ba't siya naging 0.25 times 10 raised to negative 3 meter? Kinonvert natin si 0.25 millimeter into meter na. 'Di ba? And then, multiply by yung E natin. Since ang E natin na given ay naka-GPA din, so kailangan natin siya ma-transform into Pascal para magkakapareho sila ng units na meron tayo dito sa sigma natin, di ba? Or doon sa stress. So kapag kinonvert natin si GPA into Pascal or gigapascal into Pascal, we will have 207 times 10 raised to 9 Pascal. And then divided by the sigma, 'di ba? So yung sigma natin will be, since ayan, ang sigma natin will be 8,900 Newton, 8,900 Newton divided by, so yung pi, ayan yung pi 10.2 divided by 2 squared. So, hindi ko pala nailagay kung ano yung units dito. Be careful sa units. Again, ano yung units natin for 10.2 na nakalagay dito? Ang nakalagay is in millimeter. So, meaning, kailangan natin i-convert ito into meters. Diba? So, i-rewrite natin to. So, pi 10.2, yan, 10.2 times 10 raised to negative 3 meters na siya. 'Di ba? Kasi millimeter to. So, kailangan maging meter siya. So, divided by 2 raised to 2. So, ayan. Sorry, nagmukha siyang 3 raised to 2 yan. And then, divide na natin siya dito. So, pi, again, ang pi natin is 3.4, 3.14. So, makikita nyo naman siya sa may calculator. And then, 10.2 times 10 raised to negative 3 meter. Diba? Magiging meter squared yan kasi meron tayong squared dito over 2. So, ilagay nyo lang yan, input nyo lang yan sa calculator. Ang kalalabasan is, again, be careful sa units. So, ang mangyari dyan, cancel tong Pascal, and then cancel, of course, tong Newton meter squared na yan. Kasi nga, di ba, ang Newton meter squared or Newton per meter squared is also Pascal. So, matitira natin is yung meter. So, that will be the initial. So, what will be the answer? So, input nyo lang yung sa calcu. Ang lalabas will be 0.475 meter. So, that's the final answer. So, nakuha na natin yung maximum length. Ayan. So, here, ito yung solution. So, the final answer will be 0.475 meter. So, for your practice problems, hindi ito require i-pass, pero do it as your practice. No, so, for this problem, again, hindi nyo ito ipapass, magpa-practice lang kayo. So, for a brass alloy, the stress at which plastic deformation begins is 345 MPa or megapascal, and the modulus of elasticity is 103 GPa. So, meron tayong given na stress or yung sigma is equals to 345 megapascal, and then yung modulus of elasticity or yung E is equals to 103 GPa. So for letter A, what is the maximum load that can be applied to a specimen with a cross-sectional area of 130 millimeter without plastic deformation? So ang tinatanong dito ay yung maximum na load na kaya niyang makuha. No, so maglalaro-laro kayo ng formula, and then for the letter B, if the original specimen length is 76 millimeter, what is the maximum length to which it can be stressed without causing plastic deformation? So in this case, the maximum length naman yung hinahanap. No, so ang gagawin nyo lang is lalaruin nyo lang ng lalaruin yung formula. Again, be careful with the units, and then dapat alam nyo kung paano ang conversion ng units. So, dapat kabisado nyo kung paano i-convert yung one unit into another unit so you can get the right answer. No. So, pwede nyo itong i-consult sa akin sa pagka-calculate, pero again, it is not recorded, so hindi kayo kailangan mag-pass pagdating dito. So, that's the end of the presentation. So again, after the UMIT and then the ADFA, um, be ready sa magiging quiz natin. So the metal part or the metals part will be included dun sa long quiz natin. Again, the scope of the long quiz will be the fuels, the crystals, and of course the here, yung metals. Again, different yung quiz natin for the laboratory part and then for the lecture part. So, mangyayari is expect na long quiz yung mangyayari for both lec and lab. So, kailangan yung mag-review ng mabuti. So, Yun yung first quiz natin for final. So make sure na mababawi nyo siya. No? So individual topics have individual scores pagdating sa quizzes. So iba-iba ng scores lahat yan. So iba yung score for lec, ay iba yung tama. Iba yung score for lec, and then iba yung score for lab, and then iba yung of course the scores for the crystals, for the fuels, and then for the metals. No. So that's all today. So we're almost